What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we have a selection of Gordon Lightfoot post Gord's Gold, that fantastic 1975 album that Trey and I have reviewed. That is up on the channel. This is brought to us by our patron and longtime friend and supporter of the channel, B-Mac. B-Mac always brings me great stuff. He really knows his music. He really knows his Lightfoot. So I look forward to this one. And if you'd like to support us in any way, check out the Patreon link below. Let's talk about a little bit about Gordon Lightfoot before we jump into this. B-Mac included some quotes I really like. This one from Chris Christopherson. Gordon Lightfoot has created some of the most beautiful and lasting music of our time. He is Bob Dylan's favorite singer-songwriter. High praise from the best of us, applauded by the rest of us. That is great. Dylan himself said, Lightfoot became a mentor for a long time. I think he probably still is to this day. He also said, I can't think of any Gordon Lightfoot song I don't like. Every time I hear a song of his, it's like I wished it would last forever. Jimmy Buffett, I've always been trying to write songs like Lightfoot. A song of mine like Come Monday is a direct result of me trying to write a Gordon Lightfoot song. And the great John Prine said, I always knew Gordon Lightfoot was a really great songwriter, but his stuff even sounds better and better all the time. It's just really so good to me. It's just like, that's what should be in a dictionary. You know, next to a really good contemporary folk song is a Gordon Lightfoot song. Those guys, Christopherson, Dylan, Prime, these guys are the best of the best up there in the songwriting community. So that is high praise. It's always great for those of us who aren't to praise, but those of that are in there and are the elite, that is quite another thing. Now we'll talk a little bit about what the reason why B-Mac chose these songs. Starting with the first song, for me at least, it captures Gord as a songwriter, painting in song his observations as he passes through. Kind of like the lines in Ron Sexsmith's song, Late Bloomer. I don't mean to eavesdrop, it's just part of my job, I guess. And I've done 3 selections of Ron Sexsmith for B-Mac. Check those out after this. Anyway, it seems a good starting point for the brilliant songs that follow. Again, they're just a selection more for flow. I could easily do 6 Gord song selection sets. There's so much great material in his career. I thought the last 2 songs, being from his 2020 album Solo, were also good closing tracks of his reflection on life. And a little giveaway of what's coming up, but a side note, I'm Not Supposed to Care along with Cold on the Shoulder is in my top 10 Lightfoot tracks. That's what B-Mac said. And like I said, he knows Lightfoot inside and out. Just love it. And Bob Dylan does a brilliant cover, in my opinion. The way I started this and ended, for me, has a relation in the words of the songs. For song 1 and the last song, and song 2 and the second last. Song 1 and song 16, for I am just a painter passing through in history, was 16, but sometimes life was oh so sweet. These are just a line from each, but the song for me relate, so I thought they would be a good starting point and ending point. Also song 2 and song 15 with each and every bad dream will be hammered into dust with 15. Through the years, a time meant for us, all our fears will return into dust. Again, just a line from each of the song's messages, for me, relates. Anyway, I was looking for flow and a feel in the selection. So I include that just so you know, like, I mean, you talk about somebody who puts thoughts in these things. B-Mac's not just throwing down 16 songs. He puts a real thought process into this. Like I said, we have Gord's Gold up. We have a bunch of song reactions from Gordon, but nothing else. Anything I've ever heard of his, including on our live streams that we do every Wednesday and Friday. Give him a follow on Twitch down below. And as you've already seen below, we got A Painter Passing Through, the title track to this 1988 album. If you never joined us before, the music will not be in this reaction. However, there's a link below. You can follow along with us as I listen. If you just want to know what I think, just hang out here. I'll also have the lyrics up as always. For singer-songwriters, which I love, you have to have the lyrics up because the song actually tells a story. It doesn't on every piece of music. But once again, thank you, B-Mac, for all the time you put into this. A Painter Passing Through. Wow. What a fire way to start, because the lyricism is just fantastic. It's, you know, he starts off with 5 lines of once upon a time. I was on my own like you've never known. I would be impressed. My life would be obsessed. Once upon a day when I was in my prime, once along the way. And then the repeated chorus in the songs, if you want to know my secret, don't come running after me, for I'm just a painter passing through in history. In other words, I don't have the answers, man. don't follow me. And then he starts out with 4 yesterdays is gone. It's all right. Belongs in my dreams at night. It's swell. Yesterday is great. It's strong. Remembering can wait. I was in my stride, always at my game. I was in demand, always in control. The world was in my hands. My touch had turned to gold. I'm sure it's just something he used there, but you think of Gord's Gold and how that really helped him break out. Once upon a time, I was in a daze when I was in my prime once along the way. Now that I am old, let me rest a spell. All that I am told I can never tell. Never in my life, never will it pass. I am still alone, remembering at last. Once upon a time, once upon a day, when I was in my prime, once along the way. And then repeats with the chorus a couple times. With some of these songs, I'm going to have to read you a ton of the lyrics because they're so good. And this is just reflecting back, and I relate to it a lot. I'll be 50 in about a month and a half at the time of this filming, and you see that all the things you went through in life that you thought were important, and you realized they weren't, and you were in your prime, and now you're reflecting back on it. And maybe you wished you would have done things a little different way, but I don't have the answers. You can learn from my mistakes. I have some wisdom because I've made mistakes, but you got to kind of go figure it out for yourself. What a fantastic way to start. Next up, from the East of Midnight album in 1986, we have I'll Tag Along. I'll Tag Along, great acoustic there as you get in so many of Gord's songs, nice and low key. Did get a little bit, almost sounded like a synthesizer there. You can tell it was a piano at the end, but synth a little bit in there maybe. I don't know, 1986, trying to get just a little bit of the music of the time in there. Another beautiful song. I think that she's probably leaving. Didn't work out for me because every little daydream that appears in all we do gives us some problems of our own. If you turn back to that page again and you can't win, if you ask me, I'll tag along. So he just keeps getting into these scenarios where he'll tag along. I believe it's best that we carry on. Smoke rings rising till they disappear in the sky above. If you ask me, I'll tag along. And then he goes into that line that B. Mac pointed out at the start. Each and every bad dream will be hammered into dust when we get back where we belong. If you ever turn that page again and you need a friend, if you ask me, I'll tag along. So fantastic imagery on that one. Now from the Shadows album in 1982, we've got She's Not the Same. She's Not the Same. That song had less than 3 minutes of lyrics in it, but so many lyrics. Like, Gord tells a story, man. He is never going to shortchange you on that. This one, more instrumentation on it, drumming in there, a little bit of harmony on certain lines, just real quick in there to kind of hammer those home. Oh, more of a country sound. The first two were acoustic, not super country here, but more of a country sound. It shows you the versatility and so good. He's basically telling the story of a woman who he's in love with, but she's not the same. She's changed. It's too late now. He starts out with, the living ain't easy with all of these false emotions, too little devotion, and I'm tired of just being alone. She's just not the same. And then says all these things that she is. Like any good gambler, I was chained to a wishing well. I keep wishing in vain. But listen, friend, don't look now. She's right behind you looking for someone to take her inside. It thrills her so. It's a rainbow ride. Get away, run. He's telling these other guys, or this other guy he's talking to, look, man, it's not going to be... It's not going to be easy. He talks about the pride inside that he has. Anytime is the right time to get on with a new tomorrow. But I can never let yesterday go. And when the falling rain makes me sad, she comes to me in the dreams I've had, in the morning light, in the dead of night. He is just so fantastic on his songwriting. And, it's then the next to the last verse, he just basically tells you it's too late. It's not going to work out. Too much has happened. I don't feel the same way I did about her. So, fantastic choice there. Now we're on to song number 4, as you see below, from the Salute album in 1983. We have Tattoo. B-Mac says it is hauntingly beautiful. I do a ton of research for everything that we put up. There's just nothing out there on Gord. It's amazing. This guy is so fantastic. I live in the States, didn't even know much about him, knew the name before we started this channel 2.5 years ago, I guess, at this point. Just so good, but just not really mainstream, well-known outside of Canada. So I can't really find anything on these songs, but it doesn't matter because he's so gifted. You read the song lyrics, you listen to the song, you know what it's about. All right, let's check this one out. Tattoo. Wow, there's some fire lines in here. Basically, the premise of the song is she's gone. He got drunk one night. He went and got the tattoo. That's what he's going to remember her by. He starts out, whatever you think of me, I'm still your friend. So obviously it didn't work out well. So other than nothing, what's new? The water's still flowing through the rose on my skin. This here tattoo is for you. Time has been wasting away, I can see it. Go sailing on by as it slips through my fingers. The boat and the wave never wait for tomorrow. They just keep on rolling as straight as an arrow. Good night. These are my girls are my dreams. You get better each day. Talking about when he went out drinking all day, and now for just a few dollars, this rose in memory of her lives on forever. He gets another fantastic time little verse in here. Time has been wasting away. You know, time doesn't wait for nobody to find what they're after. It just keeps on rolling on down the deep canyons and through the green meadows into the broad ocean. Good night. Time has been wasting away. You know, time doesn't wait for nobody to find what they're after. And the time motif keeps on going. Time has been wasting away. You know, time doesn't wait for nobody to find what they're after. Those are the two favorite lines in the whole song for me. And there was a lot of great lines here. But I'll tell you what, the older you get, the more you realize Father Time is undefeated, and it stands still for no one. It's the only thing we can't get more of. What a song. Now we're going to have back-to-back offerings from the East of Midnight album in 1986. We got Stay Loose. This is the album opener. Stay Loose, the most electric guitar we've heard on this. Some nice drumming in there. I was going to say as the song was going, my least favorite of the first five, which is like, I like all of them a lot. But as it went on, I'm not sure if it is my least favorite. Something's got to be right, but a great message on this one. If you got a heartache of the kind that will not pass by, even if you don't see the end of what lies around the bend, don't stay that way. It's all in a day, believe me. Even the best of dreams must end. Even so, it grieves me. Stay loose. Don't fight it. Let it take you all the way. And if it's wrong, you will right it. Do not waste these hours away. And when he comes in on that chorus, you get some backing on there, and the instrumentation changes up. And as he repeats that chorus throughout the song, it really starts to stick in your head. The other verse I really like, and soon the storm will be over and the clouds will all pass by. To be insane beyond belief is sometimes the best relief, and one thing sure, love never did come easy. Even the best of dreams must end. Even so, it grieves me. And then he gets back into that chorus. As always, a great message. A lot of these songs, it's the wisdom of Gord, advising you like, look, man, life is tough, but don't worry, you'll get through it. And as I mentioned, we're going to stay on this album. We're going to go to A Lesson in Love. A Lesson in Love. Gord takes P.T. Barnum and Jenny Lind, and I haven't seen the show, but I know it's a plot point in The Greatest Showman, and uses them as an illustration for a story in The Lesson of Love, kind of a love that is wanted but can't be fulfilled. It made me do a little research that this has actually never happened, that it's just a fictitious thing. They didn't have an adulterous relationship or near adulterous relationship. It was just business. But for the story itself, it works. The rest is history. She in all of her glory. He lived quietly. She became a very famous singer. She was at the time, became even more famous. He needed her. She needed him. As sure as the sky is above. In a way, it was for them. A lesson in love. And the very end, songs of the season, apples of the sun. There is no rhyme or reason, just a time for each and everyone. Hang on, Mr. Barnum. Hang on, Jenny Lind. We will meet you in streets of gold where eternity begins. Wow. Life was meant to live and learn. A lesson in love, a lesson in love. Had the horns come in here. Just a really nicely told story. Enjoyed that one. Now we're going to go to Summertime Dream in 1976. We got I'm Not Supposed to Care. B-Mac calls this a classic. This song comes right after the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald in the track listing. We do have a song reaction up to that classic. I'm Not Supposed to Care. Something I haven't mentioned. It kind of goes without saying, but I need to say it because I haven't said it yet. The acoustic work on here, Gord's guitar playing, is top notch. It just lends. Even though it's not over the top, it absolutely lends to these songs in such a beautiful way. And this song is one of those tragic love stories, right? I think you have somebody waiting outside in the rain to take you away. You got places to go. You got people to see. Still, I'm going to miss you. But anyway, and he wishes her well. And if you need somebody sometime, I'll always be there. I'll do it. Although I'm not supposed to care. So he just tells her no matter what, he is going to be there with her. He just keeps playing that out through the song, through different scenarios. He's still going to love her. He knows he's not supposed to care, but he's still going to be there. So I don't know. I'm guessing maybe she broke up with him and he's supposed to move on, but he can't do it. He's confessing that Unrequited Love Forever. So that was a nice one. As I mentioned, be very difficult following the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, but I think that does a very good job of it. Now we're going to go to the 8th track. After this song, we'll be halfway done. Make Way for the Lady from Dream Street Rose in 1980. You know, on the last track, you could tell it was the earliest track we've had of Gord on this list from 1976. Now we're going to go back to 1980. You can tell the maturation of his voice and the difference. I'll be curious. It's kind of right in the middle here. Make Way for the Lady, a different song compared to the other 7 that we have heard on here. I said it during the reaction, almost a little bluesy. I mean, not full-on blues, but different instrumentation and a different delivery by Gord. He was trying to emphasize that. And, you know, it starts out Some Life I've Been Living, like a song in the night, good sounds every moment, good news and bright lights. Anytime I get lonesome, I just got to do things right. And then the chorus that repeats throughout, make way for the lady. You can do it, my son. Making hay with no gravy, bring the good folk down. Anytime you get lonely, you just got to turn it around. He gets even into shaking hands with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And then he just goes on to go over the chorus again. That one is going to be my least favorite. I guess just because it's so different, it took me a while to kind of marinate on that. But still, I mean, a really good effort. Now we're going to go in the back half of this selection. We're going to go back to the Shadows album in 1982 with Baby Step Back. Baby Step Back. A different kind of song. The instrumentation, I don't want to say is harsher, but you know, a more menacing almost. This song has a different edge to it than the stuff we have heard before on this list. You know, baby, either step up or step back. He just kind of tells the story that he is who he is. He's not going to kneel. He was born to fight, so you best leave me alone. Maybe I'll get much more than I need or much less than I should own. Last of all, let me say it again. Either step up or step on. And then we get that baby step back, either step up or step back. And he repeats that several times to end the song. Just a song, I think, where he says, either step up and you're here with me or get out of my way. But did enjoy that one just because it was so much different. Now we're going to fast forward to the album that we were on at the start, A Painter Passing Through from 1998. I used to be a country singer. Okie doke me, because I thought it was going to be about Gord, and it is, but it's not. And he just talks about, I was sitting in my hotel room strumming my old guitar, not much to do when you're far away playing some smoky bar. So I was feeling a little empty and feeling a little blue. The maid comes in, asks him if she can clean her room. She dusted my room, made my bed. She talked of days gone by. She spoke of when she wooed the men. A tear came to her eye. And she said, I used to be a country singer. I could sing a mean Patsy Cline. My husband, he could yodel like Wolf Carter. Kitty Wells was a real good friend of mine. Tells me their husband died, her son's overseas. She was lonely. I could tell she was lonely just like me. She asked if I'd listen to a tape of when she was young. She said, I can't sing now. I forgot the words and my voice is almost gone. Oh, I cried inside, but I couldn't tell if it was for her or for me. So at the start, she's crying. Now he's listening to her story, her reminiscing on the old days, and now it's making him remember how he was once at that same place. So I grabbed my axe, his guitar, and we sang a song in 2-part harmony. Ever since that day when I'm feeling down and I can't find a happy tune, I just think if that maid and the feeling she gave when she came to clean my room. A really good song because it uses her story to also bring out his story, which is just fantastic songwriting. Now we're going to go to the Salute album in 1983, Whispers of the North. B-Mac has some thoughts on this. He said, Gord did a lot of canoe tripping, much more rugged than I used to do. But I always loved this song as it would take me back to the twice yearly 2-week canoe trips I would do deep into, I'm going to butcher this, Algonquin Provincial Park in Northern Ontario, where you would rarely see a soul, and the Milky Way was a thick, wide, white mass across the sky at night, which you wouldn't see in the city or town as there was no artificial light to obstruct the night sky. Stunning. Boy, living in Dallas, Texas, that sounds so fantastic. B-Mac says, I love the loon call at the beginning of the song, which you hear all the time up north. What a fantastic picture B-Mac painted there. I can see why B-Mac identifies with this so much, talking about his canoe trips, and because Whispers of the North, I mean, Gord's talking about being out in the wild, out in nature, but then he also gets into it a little bit. I think maybe he's getting there to escape from a love lost. Whispers of the north, soon I will return again to those endless afternoons and sunshine and in rain. Whispers of my love, days and weeks on end. I will share my thoughts of her in prayers that I will send. And just talking about being in the land and whispers of the wind, I will feel it sting. I will see it rise and fall or hear it sing. The sound is like a song to me. It takes away the pain. The river is the melody and sky is the refrain. Really good song. Much different in the fact that it is very fast paced. A lot of times Gord lets his songs breathe a little bit. This one was very fast paced, which fit the content. Now we're up to song number 12, Restless, from the 1993 album Waiting for You. So we're getting a little later in Gord's catalog. Restless. Really nice acoustic work here. And the story of the song is just, he's restless when he thinks about the past, right? Restless, I don't know necessarily in a bad way, but you kind of feel that, like, how could the things have been different? Or, what feeling did I have in that moment? And he says, in the quietude of winter, you can hear the wild geese cry. And I'll always love that sound until the day I die. There's this plain and a simple answer to each and every quest. Then he asks these different things. Do you feel restless with this or that? We will be returning to the things that we love best. Do you get that restless yearning when you think about your dad and the scrimshaw that he had of an old schooner roving neath a sky that's ironclad? So he's just talking about reminiscing on the past and that restless feeling of taking you back to that moment. I think it's a really good song. One of those songs, again, of thinking back, right, on your life as you start to get older and the things that you thought were going to be that didn't turn out. Sometimes that's bad, but a lot of times that's good. Now we're going to return to 1976, the Summertime Dream album. We got Race Among the Ruins. Earlier we had I'm Not Supposed to Care, which came after the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which is the second song. If you wondered what started this album out that classic song was on, this is it. This is the first track. Race Among the Ruins. More country instrumentation there with the guitar, just a little country spin to it. Really good song. Starts out, you think you had the last laugh. Now you know this can't be true, even though the sun shines down upon you now. Sometimes you must feel blue. You make the best of each new day. You try not to be sad, even though the sky falls down upon you. Call it midnight, feeling bad. And then that chorus, as catchy as these all are, when you wake up to the promise of your dream world coming true with one less friend to call on. Was it someone that I knew? Away you will go sailing in a race among the ruins. If you plan to face tomorrow, do it soon. And then this verse too, I got to read this one too. The road to love is littered by the bones of other ones who by the magic of the moment were mysteriously undone. You try to understand it, but you never seem to find any kind of freedom coming clean. It's just another state of mind. So take the best of all that's left. You know this cannot last. Just think about the fool who by his virtue can be found in a most unusual situation, playing jester to the clown. That one made me laugh. Great song, man. Great. I mean, those are 3 fantastic tracks on this album. It only has 10 songs, so I've already done 3 of them. So probably ought to give Summertime Dream a listen. Now we're up to All I'm After from the Shadows album in 1982. Only got 3 tracks left. All I'm After. Kind of a reminiscing of life once again. All I'm after is to be on your winning side. All I need is to be turning back the tide because I care too much for the life that I lead. What you're thinking could be anybody's guess. So then he kind of goes through these different things. Ain't it funny how the world seems to be back there in my dreams? All I see is my reflection in your wild and winsome ways. Ain't it funny? Life feels different every day. I mean, this song could have been called Ain't It Funny and it would have worked. But all I'm after is to be the flame in your tattoo. So he's telling her sorry for my truthfulness later on. At the very end, in the evening when the rain begins to fall, that's when I wonder if you think of me at all. Ain't it funny how life changes every day? So she's not with him anymore is what I'm taking out of this, but he's still thinking of her and reminiscing on the times that they have had. A nice guitar on that one as well. Now we're going to go to the solo album, just released last year at the time of me filming this in March of 2020, and the song Return to Dust. And I read a Rolling Stone article on this album because there's not a lot out there on this album at all. It doesn't even have a wiki. But he rediscovered these songs tucked away in his office, 2 discs tucked away in his office. He had recorded them in 2001, 2002, right before he had a near fatal abdominal aortic aneurysm. These things are serious things. My father has had 2 surgeries for that very same thing. And so I guess he must have tucked them away. So this is his first new album in almost 16 years at the time of the release. He went in, he said, and re-recorded these just with his guitar. He re-recorded the songs. He wanted people to hear what they sounded like in their infancy before, I guess, they were produced and stuff. I haven't heard any of this, so I'm going to guess that we just got acoustic in him and not much production. So looking forward to that. Our last 2 songs are off of this album. So let's check out Return into Dust. Wow, what a fantastic song. You got to remember, this is probably at this point a 79-year-old Gord, maybe an 80-year-old Gord, laying this stuff down. I know it was recorded first in 01 or 02, but him re-recording this at this point in his life just lends even more like just greatness to it. A lot of biblical type things, it's kind of all the advice you're going to get in life, right? And he's reflecting back on his life and the advice you give and the fallacy of most of that advice, because no matter what you do in between the lines of being born and dying, we're going to return into dust. They said, seek and ye shall find. All I ever find is trouble in mind. One of these days I will set myself free. Ain't no one else who can put the bite on me. But until then, I'll do it again. They said, seek and you shall know. All I ever saw was a heaven here below, or so it goes. The time meant for us like the rose, we will return to the dust. They said, sow and you shall reap. All I ever saw was this dream I can't keep. And he talks about rough times, tough times are all one and the same. But as for now, time don't allow. They said, search and destroy all that you hold dear. They said, ask and it shall be. All I can tell you is, baby, it ain't free. One more request and I'll be on my way. I'll pay the price. Love, start a brand new day. But until then, let us be friends. This one made me laugh. They said, drink and be restored. All I ever drank made me wind up on the floor. And what is more, a mind turned to rust, that's for sure. We will return to the dust. Through the years that time meant for us, all our fears will return to dust. Such a wise song. That is actually one of my favorites, and it's going to be hard to pick my favorites, but we're not there quite yet because we got one more song. Same album. This was the actual single that was released from this album. We have Oh So Sweet. Oh So Sweet. So much power in this because, like I said, 79, 80-year-old man reflecting on his life. There's a lot of wisdom to it. It's so easy to live with no fear or deceit, but sometimes I think I may have skipped a beat. The road I chose was not all it should be, but sometimes it was oh so sweet. So he returns to this. It was oh so sweet. It ain't easy to live with no tears of regret, but sometimes it was oh so sweet. He talks about healing in my dream world, ear close to the ground. I can hear the rumble of the things I love. It ain't easy to grieve over things said and done, and that is the truth. But sometimes life was oh so sweet. And then verse 3, the final verse, oh, the less we believe in, the less we belong. Let's all gather round so that we can carry on. Stick to the mainstream and we'll be okay. But sometimes it was oh so sweet. Sometimes I remember seeing starlight fade back when life was still only a mystery. Wasn't it good? Wasn't it bad? Or the best you ever had? But sometimes it was oh so sweet. What a fantastic line to finish out this selection of Gordon Lightfoot post Gord's Gold from BMAC. He did a fantastic job on this one. And now I usually pick my 3 favorite songs. I don't really think I can do this on here. There's 16 songs. I liked them all. I like some more than others, but I liked them all. If I had to throw a couple favorites in there, it would be Return to Dust, the next to the last song. And I really liked The Painter Passing Through, the first song. But really, all of it's great because I like singer-songwriters, and you do too, or you probably wouldn't be here with me following along with this. So as BMAC said, he could do 6 more of these lists. There's so much material out there. Let me know what you thought of this selection and any other stuff I should check out by Gord. Thanks always, BMAC, and until next time, guys, I will see you.